guys, welcome back. We are yet again in the Pleasantview Museum. I've added even more butterflies. Some of these are like local kids wanted their stuff in the museum and it's a local museum. Of course they put them there. Don't think I did too much in terms I moved some things around, added some posters. Bella Goth has even more pictures in her room because now I have a problem. I added some more old stuff into the land grab room because why not? Didn't really change too much in the awards room. I added a few more things. And now we're finally upstairs. We finally did it. So as you can see, you come up from the elevator. My game was going super slow. There's 2 bathrooms up here. They're not gendered, but I just decided to have 2. This is a reminder to myself. I need to download a water fountain. Water fountain. See, I added some more posters, but yeah, I want to download a water fountain for this area. I think that is necessary. I decided to put this bell just kind of in this awkward little space. It makes sense, like, you wouldn't want anything major there, but I imagine it's like the first bell from the courthouse, or maybe a bell from a church or a schoolhouse, something like that. And now, of course, begins me having to move everything into the bathrooms. These are just kind of really tiny bathrooms, but a necessary thing. Also, my game crashed twice while decorating these. I'm pretty sure this recording has one of the crashes, and I was not happy about it. That's why this is a bit long, because I did them off camera after the crashes and just said screw it. I've got some sort of footage of it. It's fine. I'll do it exactly the same, and then I will decorate other things, but I forgot that I was going to do that, so then the other video is long. This is who I am as a person. I am really happy with my bathroom CC choices, though, must be said. They look like actual public bathrooms. They got the little hand washing sign, there's soap, there's also the little paper towel thing. It all works. Yeah, it was laggy. I don't know why. Normally it's not this bad. I did have my computer on for like 2 days, so I feel like that makes it angry. But who knows? And then I just put some random posters. These might not even be the ones that actually are in there now, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is a very evolving space. I am continually changing my mind or finding things that I like better. So it really just depends. I wanted to put different posters in the bathroom as well. Just some variety. So yeah, simple, effective. We have a couple different spaces upstairs. And I broke it up, but I wasn't really sure if this was going to be the final layout or not. I'm still not 100% sold on this being the final layout. But I do know I want this area in the middle to kind of be open. Like I wanted it to be fairly open. Because dinosaur, but. Yeah, and then I wanted to do kind of a gallery wall here. I do end up changing this. You'll see, but I was just fiddling around with what was going to be up here. Because I had these like big sculptured statue things that I kind of wanted to keep. But I don't know. But this space is meant to be like historical objects that might not necessarily come from Pleasantview, but people in Pleasantview owned them at some point or discovered them or things like that. It still pertains to the town's history. It's just not necessarily items that are native to the area. And that's because I have a lot of CC from like other neighborhoods. So Twicky, Take Me Zoo, those all come with Sims 2, but I also have like Sulani things and Salvadorada, I think is the jungle neighborhood. Like I have a bunch. So I wanted to use it in a way that made sense, but also was not like we stole a bunch of stuff. Like I didn't really want that for this museum. So all of these items are either replicas of things that were discovered or were donated and purchased legally. Because museums have problems with those sorts of things. Also, you can see The reason why I wanted to make this particular section a diorama room is that tree is poking like up out of the ground from the downstairs portion where we have like the nature diorama. So it's like, okay, I definitely need to put a little diorama type thing here. So yeah, my idea for this little section was like setting up like an Indiana Jones discovery sort of scene. Like, this is when this was found. Because there is a Sims 3 sim that like has a mention in Sims 4 in Selvadorada. So like it makes sense that there's probably some sort of Pleasantview connection in my brain. So I was trying to figure out how to put everything in a way that worked, but also like made sense in the scene that they were setting. All of these items are replicas, not original, because you don't need the original to still tell the history. Like, it's fine. 3D printing is real. Museums need to get on it. Plus, then you could touch stuff. I'm just saying, we've all been in a museum and seen like a golden egg and we really want to touch it. See, there's the crash. There's the crash. And yeah, if they just 3D printed one, everybody would touch it and be satisfied. I'm just saying. See, I'm trying to rearrange things now, and I didn't quite remember how I did it before. But I like the way that I ultimately organized this. I don't know what sim in history would have been an Indiana Jones type archaeologist, but let me know who you think it should be. I can't think of one of the Sims 1 Sims that was like super adventure-y. I can think of a Sims 2 Sim, but he's not in this neighborhood, so it wouldn't really make sense. But yeah, I have like the shovel and the flashlight and the bags. I just wanted to set a very specific looking scene. I almost put a sleeping bag in here to like really sell it, but then I was like, nah, that kind of looks a little weird. I don't think I saved that. There was a crash before this. There were seriously some crashes going on. Now it's behaving just fine. It was being temperamental that day. And also, again, I had not turned my computer off. I've learned that, I don't know, I'm sure that there's a reason for it. I am not smart enough to know what that reason is. But if I do not consistently restart my computer while I'm playing The Sims 2, it gets a little fussy. It gets a little grumpy. And we don't need that energy. We don't need it. It needs to chill. I love that these flashlights turn on. Like, it brings me joy. And don't worry, I am going to change like the flooring and the walls and everything in here. That's like the last part of the stage dressing. I really wanted a plumb bob section. I was glad I found that lamp, but I really don't have a ton of plumb bob CC. I know that there's more out there, and I used to have it. This is my newest modern folder. Like 3 years ago, I deleted my modern folder because I'm like, I'm not going to play modern Sims anymore. I'm just going to play medieval. It's fine. And then, of course, got the bug to play a modern game. I never really want to play, like, custom Sims, I guess. Like, my own Sims. I always play with pre-mades. Mostly because I've had 2 neighborhoods now that had custom Sims and I was super heavily invested in, and then they were corrupted or lost because of my own lack of knowledge as to what would happen when I did certain things. One had been like an orphanage challenge, which I can never even find the original challenge that I used. But it had been an orphanage challenge. I just remember you had like 6 Sims of each life stage. So teens, children, toddlers, and infants. And you had to generate a new one every Monday. And you had 3 of each gender. And it became a bit of Build a City challenge pretty quickly for me because I got attached to them. And then prior to that, I had done a Build a City challenge that got weird, and then I got too crazy into storytelling, which also becomes problematic for me because then I want to rebuild the neighborhood, and then that's where it all goes downhill. All goes downhill from when I start rebuilding neighborhoods. That's Adheren's problem. I've rebuilt it like 9 times. So yeah, I'm just going with the stone. I think it looks, the way that I want it to. There's like a definite scene. I wanted to move that skeleton because I think it's really cool. So yeah, we have our little Indiana Jones moment. I thought about putting like lights on it because, you know, usually for a dig they're going to put... It didn't work out. If this was on the first floor, I was also going to dig a hole like in the ground, but it was not working. Not working for me. Which is fine, but yeah, it could be a little bit better. I wanted to throw some of the lights down in the gift shop. Every now and then, like, I stumble across something, I'm like, oh yeah, that should be in the gift shop because it ties into a part of the museum. That's one thing that I really want to do when I find the gift shop's probably going to be last, because I want it to tie to each section of the museum, along with like generic stuff. But that's one thing that gift shops are very good at in museums, is they have the things that you saw. So if you saw a pharaoh, there's a teeny tiny little plushy mummy. Like, it just makes sense. Yeah, I'm paranoid saving at this point, but I've started putting the final touches on that little space. And now I need to sort out this mess. There's way too many wall hangings. I already knew that going in. So I had to kind of decide what made the most sense and what also didn't feel kind of like icky, maybe fell off a truck stolen. Oh, goodness. I don't know if you heard the dog, but that was a dog. Dog is very upset because cat is in the cat bed, and the dog has decided that it wants the cat bed, but that's not going to happen. That's not your bed. You have a bed right next to it that is perfectly fine. Anyway, so I had those framed Salvadorada like fabrics. I feel like that made sense there. I do have to remove this statue later because its head cuts through the ceiling. I didn't realize. That wagon, I figure maybe there was like a circus at some point and then it got left behind and then somebody had it in their garage and then it ended up here. Like small town museums. That tends to happen. So I knew I wanted like I think there's Ila Paradiso, Sulani, and then Twiki are like the island neighborhoods we've given in the Sim games. I don't think the Sims 1's neighborhoods ever actually were given names. I don't remember. So I knew I had that kind of section. I had like some pottery. I knew I wanted like Shang Simla, Take Mizu, Mount Komorebi section. I didn't have enough of that, but I think I made it work. Enough from one of the sections, I don't remember. I really wanted to keep the tiny Stonehenge, but those end up leaving. They didn't fit. It was very upsetting to me. Oh goodness, we're filing complaints. I actually don't know if you can hear her now that I have the new mic, because it's very good at isolating noise. I want to test it and like run the laundry or something, but then I'm like, no, I don't, because then that could ruin all the audio. It would have to be something quick. Okay, it wasn't this section. It was the island section. I don't really know what to call these sections because like it's Sims, so it's not like real life. This is kind of like the Asia section, but like that it doesn't exist in the Sims. So I don't know. You know the 3 places that it represents. And yeah, I figured these actually probably came a lot from the Oldie family, because even though they adopted Mary Sue, I still think that they went back quite a bit to make sure that she had that connection. And I think in a way, Lilith is also very invested in her connection to that, even though, you know, at this point is very far removed from that culture. I still think that it's something that she tries to be aware of and be mindful of and educated about. So yeah, that's my idea for these, is that's where these came from specifically, is their trips there. So it's probably nothing that's super valuable. It's just items that they purchased. I love that I'm like justifying my museum choices, but it's important. We do need to be aware of it in the real world, and I'm going to talk about it here because it's important. So again, with that idea that a lot of these are maybe touristy purchased things, I put like the shell necklace, the witch doctor mask. I think those 2 wooden things are from Sulani. The tapestries from Sulani. So again, these are things that are purchased probably on vacation, and then they don't want it anymore. They don't need it anymore. Maybe they work at the museum and think, I could make an exhibit out of that. This is my job. I'm going to bring it there. It'll be fine. I do delete the sarcophagus. I wanted to keep it because I had like the poster, but it just didn't make sense. It should not be here. Even as a replica, it didn't belong. I did put the pirate poster up though. I feel like Pleasantview had pirates back in the day. This is where I was terrified I was going to get a crash. I was like, when was the last time I saved? And then the fence thankfully loaded. I'm still trying to make it work, and I'm just like, maybe if I do it this way. And then I wanted the poster, and then I'm just like, if this was like, again, like a Smithsonian, I would probably have left it, but I couldn't make it work. Which is very sad, but sometimes when you're decorating, you have to recognize that something is not working and just let it go. So the last section is like pottery. I don't really have like it, probably from all over. Again, things people purchased, don't really need anymore. It's kind of old at this point, so why not? I also had like these little scrolls, which I wanted to use to kind of represent how to get to certain secret destinations in the Sims 2 vacation hoods. You get like a little scroll. So the witch doctor mask was acting a little weird with the glass, but it was fine. I cannot believe my dog is throwing a temper tantrum right now. I mean, I can believe it, but it's also taking her seriously is very hard for me because it's very funny. It's very funny. This is a giant, like, pit bull cross type dog, and she is being thoroughly bullied while a cat sleeps through her tantrum. I can't even. Yep, that's just... Hey, be quiet. Yeah, we're pretty much done now, I think. Yeah, we just have to put up a few more things. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, I had to pause because she was throwing the absolute biggest fit. If I remember, I will show you a picture of the silliness. I might not remember. I often don't remember, but the thought is there. I don't know. See, just lighting now. It's a pretty simple area. I didn't want this to be too filled because, again, this is not meant to be Fancy Dancy Museum. This is stuff we had in the basement kind of thing. But I still wanted it to look good. I wanted it to be nice, clean. And I think I accomplished that. I do think that this museum has the right, like, feeling of kind of homemade, but not. Now I'm just putting, like, last minute safety touches and lighting because those wall lights are not very bright. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you liked this a lot or if you are enjoying this. As always, like this video if you liked it. Oh my god, how many times can I say like? All right, I will see you in the next one.